Have you ever felt like everything around you is out of control? That other people's opinions, daily problems, and even your own thoughts have too much power over you? What if I told you that there is a way to shield your mind, stay calm, even in chaos, and never again be ruled by negative emotions? Buddhist monks discovered this secret centuries ago. And today, you're going to learn 10 Buddhist principles that can transform your life and make you truly unshakable. Buddhism is much more than a religion. It is a true manual of wisdom for life. It doesn't matter if you are a Buddhist or not. The teachings of this philosophy can help you achieve greater peace, clarity, and balance in any situation. And the best part? These principles are simple to understand, but incredibly powerful when put into practice. They will teach you how to control your emotions, free yourself from fear, and find a peace that no one can take away from you. So, if you want to become a stronger, more resilient, and unshakable person, stay with me until the end of this video. I promise you, the last principle will completely change the way you see life. Now let's dive into the first principle. The first principles for becoming unshakable. Now that you understand the importance of these teachings, let's dive into the 10 Buddhist principles that will transform your mind and your life. Each of them holds profound wisdom, and if applied correctly, they can ensure that no external situation ever throws you off balance again. Get ready, because the first principle alone could change everything for you. 1. Accept impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. One of the biggest causes of human suffering is resistance to change. We cling to people, material possessions, and happy moments, and we suffer when these things change or disappear. But here is a truth that Buddhist monks understand very well. Everything in life is impermanent. What brings you joy today may bring sadness tomorrow. What seems like a problem now could turn into a solution later. Nothing lasts forever, neither the good nor the bad. Accepting this is liberating, because when you stop fighting reality, you learn to flow with it. You let go of the need to control everything and realize that change is not your enemy. It is part of the journey. Imagine someone who loses their job and falls into despair, but months later, they realize that it was a blessing as they found something even better, or someone who goes through a painful breakup, only to later discover that this separation opened the door to something much healthier and happier. If you truly understand that everything passes, everything changes, then nothing will have the power to break you. You will become lighter, more resilient, and far more prepared to handle life's challenges. 2. Suffering comes from attachment. Why do we suffer so much when we lose something? Because we cling to it. We create expectations. We want things to go our way. We try to hold on to something that is already slipping through our fingers. But Buddhism teaches that attachment is the root of suffering. The more you cling, the more you suffer. The more you try to control, the more frustrated you feel. Now look at the difference a detached mind makes. A person who is not attached to outcomes does not suffer when things don't go as planned. A person who is not attached to the past does not carry resentment, guilt, or regret. And a person who is not attached to external opinions is not affected by what others say or think. This doesn't mean you should be indifferent or emotionless. True detachment is not about not caring. It is about accepting and moving forward without resisting the natural flow of life. If you learn to live with less attachment, you will have much more freedom. Nothing will hold you back. No failure will define you. No opinion will shake you. You will own your inner peace. 3. Live in the present. The past and future do not exist. The human mind has a destructive habit. It is either stuck in the past, reliving pain, regrets, and trauma, or worried about the future, anxious about things that haven't even happened yet. But here is the truth. The past no longer exists. The future hasn't arrived yet. All you have is now. Buddhist monks understand that the present moment is the only real moment. And when you learn to live in it, your life changes completely. How many times have you missed out on incredible moments because you were too worried about something that could go wrong? How many times have you failed to enjoy a conversation, a trip, or time with loved ones because your mind was elsewhere? Life is happening now. If you learn to be 100% present in what you're doing, you will experience more clarity, less anxiety, and much greater peace. A simple Buddhist practice is mindfulness, training your mind to focus entirely on what is happening in the present moment. If you are eating, eat with awareness. If you are in a conversation, listen attentively. If you are walking, feel each step. This simple practice can transform your relationship with life and make you a much more centered and balanced person. 4. You are not your thoughts. Here is a powerful truth. Your mind lies to you all the time. The thoughts that arise in your head are not necessarily true, but what do most people do? They believe everything they think. If their mind says, "You're not good enough," they accept it as truth. If their mind says, "You're going to fail," they feel fear and freeze. If their mind says, "That person doesn't like you," they feel rejected. But Buddhist monks teach something fundamental. You are not your thoughts. If a negative thought appears, you don't have to follow it. You can simply observe it and let it go without identifying with it. Try this. Next time a negative thought arises, don't fight it. Simply acknowledge it and say to yourself, "This is just a thought. I don't have to believe it." If you do this repeatedly over time, your mind will become a much calmer place. You will learn to control your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. 5. Peace is within you. Many people spend their entire lives searching for happiness in external things: money, status, relationships, success. But here is Buddhism's most profound teaching. True peace is not found in anything external. It is already within you. If you depend on the world to make you happy, your happiness will always be at risk. If you need approval, you will always be vulnerable to others' opinions. If you rely on something external to feel complete, there will always be an emptiness inside you. But when you realize that your peace depends on nothing but yourself, you become unshakable. You no longer need validation from anyone. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to wait for something external to happen to finally feel at peace. Inner peace comes from self-awareness, acceptance, and the practice of presence. And that peace, no one can take away from you. 5 more Buddhist principles to become unshakable. In the previous principles, we explored impermanence, detachment, the power of living in the present, the illusion of thoughts, and inner peace. If you truly apply these ideas to your daily life, you will notice an incredible shift in how you approach life's challenges. But we are not finished yet. Buddhism offers even deeper wisdom that can make you truly unshakable. Now, let's move on to the next 5 principles. 6. Suffering is inevitable, but pain is optional. Most people believe that to be happy, they need to eliminate all problems from their lives. But this is a dangerous illusion. Buddhism teaches that suffering is part of existence. We all experience loss, challenges, rejection, and difficulties. There is no way to avoid them. But here is the secret. What truly matters is how you deal with them. Imagine 2 people facing the same difficult situation. One reacts with anger, despair, and emotional breakdown. The other accepts reality, learns from the experience, and moves forward. Who suffers more? The problem is not what happens, but how we react. If you understand that suffering is natural, but dwelling in pain is a choice, your life will become much lighter. Next time you go through something difficult, try shifting your perspective. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this experience? Will this still matter 5 years from now? This simple change in mindset can completely transform your life. 7. Silence is a powerful weapon. We live in a noisy world. People talk too much, give too many opinions, and are constantly distracted. But Buddhist monks understand that true power lies in silence. When you learn to stay silent more often, you gain several advantages. You avoid unnecessary arguments. Many conflicts could be avoided if we simply chose not to react impulsively. You develop greater wisdom. When you speak less and listen more, you learn much more. You gain more emotional control. Silence helps you avoid acting in the heat of the moment and make wiser decisions. Next time someone tries to provoke you, stay silent and observe. Next time you feel like complaining or reacting, impulsively take a deep breath and wait. Silence is a powerful shield against external chaos. 8. Whatever you resist persists. Here is a hard truth that is essential for anyone who wants to become emotionally strong. The more you fight something, the more it grows. If you fear failure and try to avoid risky situations, that fear only increases. If you feel anger towards someone and keep dwelling on it, that anger only gets stronger. If you feel insecure and try to hide it, that insecurity gains even more power over you. Buddhist monks teach that the best way to deal with negative emotions is not to resist them, but to accept them and let them go. Instead of saying, "I shouldn't feel this way," try saying, "I acknowledge this feeling, but it does not define me." Accepting what you feel without resistance takes away the power of those emotions over you. Try this. Next time a negative thought arises, instead of fighting it, simply observe it and say, "All right, this thought is here, but it will pass." If you do this consistently, you will realize that nothing has as much power over you as it once seemed. 9. People don't hurt you. Your expectations of them do. How many times have you felt disappointed by someone? Have you ever expected more and received less? Here is one of Buddhism's most transformative principles. People don't hurt you. Your expectations of them do. If you expect someone to be perfect, you will be disappointed. If you expect others to always act the way you want, you will suffer. If you place your happiness in someone else's hands, sooner or later, you will feel betrayed. But when you learn to accept people as they are, without creating unrealistic expectations, disappointment disappears. This does not mean you should passively accept everything or allow others to treat you poorly. It simply means that instead of expecting others to change, you change your perception of them. Think about it. If someone behaves in a way you dislike, instead of feeling hurt, ask yourself, is this person even capable of acting differently? Are they doing the best they can with what they know? When you see people with more compassion and less expectation, you become emotionally much stronger. Teen, you are the only one responsible for your happiness. This is the most powerful principle of all. Most people go through life placing their happiness in other people's hands. I will be happy when I find the perfect partner. I will feel fulfilled when I get my dream job. I will be happy when I earn more money. But Buddhist monks understand that this is an illusion. Happiness is not in something external. It comes from within. If you place your happiness in things you cannot control, you will always be vulnerable. But when you take 100% responsibility for your own happiness, you become free. This means if someone treats you badly, you choose whether it will affect you or not. If something goes wrong, you choose whether it will ruin your day or just be a lesson. If your life is not the way you want, you have the power to change it. No one and nothing can truly make you happy except yourself. And when you embrace this responsibility, you become unshakable. Transform your life with the 10 Buddhist principles. You have made it this far, which means that deep inside, you have a real desire for change, growth, and finding a state of peace that no one can take away from you. Now, you already know the 10 Buddhist principles that can make you emotionally unshakable. But knowing is not enough. The difference between those who remain trapped in emotional chaos and those who achieve a strong and serene mind lies in taking action. The question now is, what will you do with this knowledge? Let's quickly review the 10 principles and understand how to apply them in daily life. Summary of the 10 Buddhist principles to become unshakable. Accept impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Everything changes. Nothing is permanent. When you accept this, suffering decreases. Suffering comes from attachment. The more you cling, the more you suffer. Learn to live without holding on to things, people, or expectations. Live in the present, the past, and the future. Do not exist. The only real moment is now. Train your mind to be fully present. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts come and go. You have the power to choose which ones to believe and which ones to ignore. Peace is within you. Do not seek happiness in external things. Your peace must not depend on anything outside of yourself. Suffering is inevitable, but pain is optional. What happens to you does not determine your happiness. How you react does. Silence is a powerful weapon. Speaking less and listening more gives you greater emotional control and wisdom. Whatever you resist persists. Accept your emotions instead of fighting them. What you accept loses its power over you. People don't hurt you. Your expectations of them do. When you stop expecting others to act as you wish, disappointment disappears. You are the only one responsible for your happiness. Nothing external can give you lasting happiness. You must find it within yourself. Now, how can you incorporate these principles into your life? Knowledge alone does not change anything. What changes your life is consistent practice. Here are some ways to apply these principles and start becoming truly unshakable. 1. Practice mindfulness. Set aside a few minutes each day to simply observe your breath, your thoughts, and your emotional state. This helps you live in the present and prevents you from being controlled by emotions. 2. Question your thoughts. Whenever a negative thought arises, pause and ask yourself, is this really true? Do I have to believe this? Does this thought help me or harm me? 3. Accept change as part of life. Instead of resisting what is beyond your control, try saying, I accept this as part of my journey and choose to move forward. This relieves the weight of difficult situations and helps you flow better with life. 4. Stop creating expectations about others. Instead of expecting people to behave as you want, start observing them as they truly are. This reduces frustration, disappointment, and unnecessary resentment. 5. Choose silence over impulsive reactions. When someone tries to provoke you or when you feel the urge to complain, try staying silent and simply observing the situation. This prevents unnecessary arguments and gives you greater emotional control. 6. Take full responsibility for your own happiness. Now ask yourself, what are you waiting for to be happy? If the answer is something that depends on another person or an external circumstance, then you are placing your peace in the wrong hands. Happiness is within you. Only you can create it. Now tell me, which of these principles had the greatest impact on you? Which one do you feel you need to apply urgently in your life? Leave a comment sharing your biggest takeaway from this video and how you plan to put it into practice. And one more thing, if this video helped you in any way, help spread this message. Like this video. It helps us reach more people who need this knowledge. Subscribe to the channel. If you want more content like this, join our community of people seeking personal growth. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes, a single insight can change a life. You have two choices now. Close this video and continue living the same way. Start today by applying these principles and becoming emotionally unshakable. The decision is yours. If you have chosen growth, welcome to the path of wisdom. Now it's time to take action.